Yeah, obviously not the outcome any of us wanted or expected today. Give credit to Travis and his players and his coaching staff. They played exceptionally well and beat us in all three phases today and beat us soundly. So wish them best of luck moving forward. When you play a really good team and you also make mistakes like penalties and turnovers, and then really, as much as anything killed us today, we did not tackle as well as we've done. More than anything, we did not disengage off of blocks like we needed to. It leads to outcomes like we got today. But one day can't define us completely. Certainly disappointed in today's outcome and all of that. But I couldn't be more proud of our seniors who stuck through it, through a coaching change, and just the way they competed, the way they rebounded, the season that we had in general. We'll look back and we accomplished quite a bit, and there's a bunch to be proud of, but today was certainly not good enough. So I'll open it up for questions with that.
Coach, the weather obviously a factor today, maybe not something you want to point to, but how hard was that to prepare for during the week, obviously?
Yeah, listen, man, I don't mean to be dismissive of you, Baz. I know you have to ask that, but listen, if I tell you anything other than they kicked our ass, it's an excuse. And so the weather didn't have an outcome. They dealt with the same thing we did, and we got beat today.
Did South Dakota do anything specific to make Braden uncomfortable?
They do a great job disguising some of their coverages. They did a good job. They got some pressure on them today. We weren't as clean in some of the twist game, but it wasn't anything that I felt was like unique or that we hadn't seen. We just didn't execute well enough, and they executed at a really high level on some of those things. And we had a couple drops, that led to a couple of those.
Was there anything they did do that was different than what you'd seen? Anything?
Nothing really of note, man. I mean, that's what makes them great. They are who they are, and they just do it well, and we weren't good enough.
Where do they execute better today than they've done in the past few weeks? What was kind of the biggest difference that you saw that they did?
Yeah, I mean, really well? They stayed on schedule and ran the ball. I mean, specific today in the conditions, they did a better job staying on schedule offensively than we did, and their ability to run it at a greater clip than our ability to do that. And when you're playing from behind, you got to throw it more and just all the things. And so their ability to stay on schedule led to a lot of their success.
Coach, there was obviously the catch by Kendall Harris in the first half, the timeout, the review, and things like that. You were frustrated on the sideline. Just how do you keep your guys locked in that moment and just keep them going? It just seems like that was a tough moment for you all.
Yeah, I mean, I figured the call was going to be close. We were trying to get a playoff quickly. I was a little bit unsure why they had the iron cross over the ball. I was curious as to why they held it. But then South Dakota called a timeout. Throughout the timeout, they were able to get the review going, and that's what happens. And they don't miss. I knew it was close. We need to do a better job getting the play in and just getting it ran.
You talked about the way your guys rallied. Obviously, you talked about the Presbyterian loss and finishing the season really strong. What's one thing as a coach that you're going to take away from the season and really remember? What made this group special compared to some of the other groups you've coached?
Yeah, I mean, just the togetherness. There was a definitive fork in this road really early in the season where it could have gone one of two ways, and these guys came to work every day, and they've been in playoff mindset since week 3, basically, right? And you saw a team come together. You saw a team rally around a bunch of young kids. We had 14 surgeries this year, so we never really talk about it because, again, we're not into making any kind of excuses. But the ability for the next man to step up all year has been something that's been I'm really proud of this group for. And, at some point that stuff catches up with you a little bit, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
And what's next for Mike Jacobs as a person, as a coach, as whatever? What's next for you after the season's done?
Well, we're gonna have exit meetings with every one of our guys and try to make sure they come back as Mercer Bears, and we're gonna finish strong academically, and then like I hope everybody does, we're gonna enjoy the holidays. I'm gonna enjoy a little bit of time with my family, and then we're gonna get ready for whatever the portal madness brings us, and we're gonna go right back to work and make sure these results don't happen again.
And I know you've talked about it a lot all year, keeping the number of bodies. Obviously, the transfer portal's huge. Looking ahead, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but what's your pitch to guys to stay here and play in Middle Georgia, be a Mercer Bear? Obviously, the culture's been there. Like, how do you preach that in those exit meetings and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is winning championships is fun, and the Mercer degree that you get is good, and it's a great degree. And so the combination of that, the combination with what our administration is doing with the rev share and the collective stuff, you try to close the threshold. I'm never going to outbid an SEC school, right? But can we get close enough to maybe what some of the low-end G5s are doing to make it where the brotherhood that they've built, the trust that they have in the staff, the development they've shown, and the degree they're going to receive trump a little extra scratch in their pocket at the end of the day. And that's all it is, man. It's about relationships and people, and we'll do our best to make certain we put our best foot forward. Our administration has done a great job being forward with that stuff, and we're going to be competitive in every front that way.
You mentioned, some of the senior group, but what's your message to the guys that are hopefully coming back? Do you want them to, let this one simmer, be like, hey, remember this next year, or are you one of the type of coach that doesn't?
No, man. Listen, I mean, at some point you have to learn something from it. We'll take tomorrow off, let them recoup and recover. It's been a long season, and then we'll come back and begin exit meetings. They're in finals this week, so we won't bog them down too much. But yeah, I mean, it'll certainly be a reminder. I mean, anytime you didn't play your best, and you felt you could have done more, then you need to use that. That should drive you some in the off season. You better not cut a corner, right? You better not miss a rep or miss a line or not make weight. That's the thing. And so each day you have a number of decisions that you have to make, whether you choose to be great and do what's right or cut a corner and do what's not going to be best. And we got to make more decisions on what's right than we do on what's not best.
We already talked a lot about their defensive line and kind of disrupting Braden. On the other side of the ball, you guys have made teams one-dimensional a lot this year. Was their running back an amazing athlete? Was their offensive line just
I mean,
what happened there?
that kid was, he's coming up on 1,800 or 1,900 yards now. I mean, he's a tremendous player. Their offensive line does a nice job. Their tight ends do a good job. Their wideouts do a good job. I mean, they're fully committed to the style of football that they play, and that's why they're great. That's why that whole conference just kind of plugs along. You know what I mean? And it's the rest of the country's job to keep up.
Then another thing I wanted to ask, you mentioned it on Monday, alignment's big for you guys on defense, making sure you're ready to go. Was facing a lefty, which I don't think you guys have done all season. Is that harder for you guys to kind of make sure you're aligned? Because it's like you're flipping your D-line.
Yeah, not a ton, because we do some more stuff. We're a little more field and boundary that way than specific to the quarterback arm strength. They didn't get to a lot of it today, but they've shown a lot of their play action pass game is boot stuff. So usually you want to roll to the, they'll roll to the strength of the thrower. And so with a lot of that stuff coming out to the left, but again, I think they hit us on one long touchdown. We got out leveraged. We had bad eyes, and it turned a 8-yard catch into a 70-yard gain. And so, that's a little bit of a microcosm of the day where, we were death by paper cuts, and then we got gouged on some stuff. And so there's a lot we got to get better at. I got to make sure we're more emotionally and mentally ready to play. That's all on me. And, we'll certainly get that corrected this offseason.
What surprised you about the way y'all played all year that you didn't do today? What surprises you most of what didn't work?
The lack of execution.
Just
A general lack of execution. And then where we would put a stop to it, right? Like it wouldn't snowball. It snowballed today, and and that's partly us. That's partly playing a better opponent. And at the end of the day, you end up with a loss. Good. I appreciate you guys all season. You guys done a great job for us. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
What's going on, y'all?
Zach, how's it feeling after the tough game for you guys? First shutout here in 2 seasons before you got here. What's on your mind right now?
Man, I'm hurting. This is a game. I mean, you consider all the different outcomes, but a game ending up like this against a team that we felt like we could definitely go in there and beat. I mean, it really hurts. And I look at all the guys that have put in a bunch of work for this program, seniors and guys who have been through a lot, stayed through different coaching staffs. I hurt for them. But yeah, this one hurts because I felt like we had a great week of practice. I felt like we prepared the right way. We knew what they were going to come in here and do. Yeah, it's tough. It hurts losing a game like this.
You know, you guys, it felt like the weather maybe was a factor, wasn't a factor. You know, just even for you, I'm sure you were drawing double teams all day. Just you know, you're still, it feels like you're playing with that motor for all 60 minutes. How do you, even when it's a tough game, even when things go south, you know, how do you just keep yourself locked in for that whole 60-minute period?
I mean, this is what I do. Like, I don't need to get down on myself. This is what I love to do. I'm here for a reason, and I mean, my motor's got me so far. Like, it's gotten me up to this point. So, why change the way I play is basically how I feel about it. Like, I didn't stop playing until they took them 2 knees at the end of the game, and I would have went out there for them if need be. But I mean, it's really just a mindset, and like, it starts from the coaching staff here. But it's just the way I'm wired. Like, since I've been playing football, it's just fly around and try to do everything you can for the team, and hopefully get everybody else in the right position to make a play.
And what's next for Andrew Zock? You've had a great season, a lot of awards, still plenty of awards up for you, but what's next for you?
Man, I mean, there's decisions to be made. Like you talk about it, but I mean, I love this coaching staff. I love everything about Mercer. So, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you anything. I love it here, and I feel like this staff does a great job, and there's really no other group of people I would want to be around. But as far as me, and just back to the drawing board, ready to get another year under my belt. Training in the off season. We got spring, winter, summer workouts. Just get that much better, so I can be even more dominant next year.
They had a really balanced offensive game. What was the toughest for you guys to stop for them? I mean, obviously they ran the ball pretty well, but they had some passes too. Was there anything specific that you guys had to deal with?
Yeah, I say we just got out of position at times. Like, it's nothing different. Like, everything, all their scoring plays, all their big runs, like, it's stuff we've seen all week. People just get out of position and maybe not fully locked into what they're supposed to be doing. And I mean, that starts with me as being the captain, leader of the defense, and like, everybody just got to be in the position. The coaches did a great job. Like Coach Jacobs mentioned it. We really felt we had a great week of practice. We had a great game plan coming in. But yeah, they wanted it a little bit more than us today, and I mean, the weather's not an excuse. We knew they wanted to run the ball, and we just they got a great running back. They got a great couple running backs. Like, they got some guys, but we got to get them on the ground and do our job every play.
What's one thing you're going to remember from this season? Obviously, you guys won the championship. Would have wanted to go to Nashville, but is there just something you remember, just or going to take away from this season?
Everything we've been through. I think Coach Jacobs mentioned all the surgeries. Like, I've seen a lot of people come in and out of here with being hurt, and like, it's crazy how far we've come. You don't talk about it as much, but we've lost a lot of people on the D-line. A lot of injuries. I think we've had like probably 8 different people start on the D-line for us this year. So that's tough. But just the way we responded after the Presbyterian game, we had that bye week. Obviously, we made a big change at quarterback, which boosted us. But we had that week of practice going into the Wofford game, and then we snuck out of the Wofford game with a 1-point win, and we didn't look back from there. So I'm just really proud of the way we responded to adversity. Obviously, we didn't do that as well today, but I'll say that's the key moment. We had the no contest and then losing the Presbyterian game, which you never expect to lose. But the way we responded, like, it was great. And this is the most fun I've had with a football team, maybe my whole life. Like, I really love these guys.
Thanks,
Yeah, appreciate y'all.